How are you? How are you, good people? This is Aisha Nicole, and I realized that I hadn't done an update since I had my myomectomy, and it has now been 6 months. So I just wanted to do this brief little update and talk to you all about how I'm doing and how things have been since it's taken place. I feel amazing. I feel I haven't felt this good or this normal since I was a teenager, to be quite honest with you. Or definitely, or maybe since early 20s. It was one of the best decisions I could have ever made for myself. I find myself every now and again going back and forth and feeling guilty about taking so long. Um, but we all have our process, and because I had released some fibroids naturally on my own, I wanted to see if I can release them all on my own until I got one that, regardless of what I did, how much I changed my diet, how much I, et cetera, there would be no changing it because of where it was located, which was on the outside of the uterine canal. So there was no way to pass it, right? It can't pass through my skin. So I had to have it removed. And I just feel good. I feel lighter, because I'm not carrying, the fibroids the size of a grapefruit in my belly. I can lay on my stomach again, like little things that I just took for granted. I can sleep on my stomach if I want to. Um, I can, my cycles are so much better. They're back to, maybe a 3 day cycle, very light, um, not anything excessive. I can just use a cup, like a Diva cup or um, because I find that like using pads tend to make you flow heavier. I think because of the dyes that are in them to make them white. Now maybe if you use something organic, that's probably better. But I definitely noticed, especially back when I was flowing more heavy, it just seemed to make the womb more angry. And an angry womb would hemorrhage more, weep, bleed more, etc., etc. So yeah, I mean, I'm not having to plan my life around my cycle anymore. I literally used to have to plan my whole life and everything that I was doing around my moon. Trips, work, um, social activities, everything. I would not do anything on my moon. I had to shut down completely, at bare minimum for 3 days. And now my cycle is like almost 3 days, maybe four at the most, but it's not heavy. It's more like a light, I don't know, very light. The cramping and the pain is gone. Not excessive. I'm not having to live off of Motrin, destroying my liver anymore. The thing with these fibroids is like there are so many things that we do to try to manage them that sometimes can make it feel worse, right? So I'm managing it, taking Motrin, which is putting excessive stress on my liver. Now my liver can't function properly and filter out the excess estrogen that I might be ingesting with foods that I'm eating. I started eating meat again with the fibroids. Some of that meat is very hormone heavy, and making my estrogen levels naturally heavier. So I'm trying to do something to counter it to combat the anemia, but it was creating more estrogen in my body, right? And then my liver's not doing what it needs because it's stressed out. Drinking more wine because I'm stressed out. Putting more stress on the liver, and my liver just couldn't function properly and do what it needed to do. Now we're dealing with estrogen dominance, right? So now there's weight gain that comes with estrogen dominance. Bloated all the time, boobs swole up, heavy all the time. I mean, it's just like a domino effect that comes from these fibroids. But as I always say, and if you follow me and listen to some of my other videos, the root is always in here and in here. Always. I don't care what you're going through. I have coached, because I do coaching, wellness coaching. I coach women that have fibroids or that just want to see change in their life and don't know how to start. And consistently, every single one that has battled with fibroids has consistently been holding some kind of heartache, maybe in a situation that they don't really want to be in against their will, but they're in it anyway. Um, hanging on into relationships that aren't going anywhere, etc. Sorry, it's a little loud. Um, so while you're doing all of the holistic stuff, if you're not addressing the root and how it got there in the first place, then they're either going to come back if you get rid of them, or they'll grow some buddies that they'll leave behind in the baby stage that'll be growing while you're growing and you're going through whatever it is you're going through. So I had to cut a lot of things out of my life, people, ways of thinking, how I was showing up in relationships, because I realized they were directly contributing to my problem with the fibroids. And I deserve to be happy and healthy, you know? We all do. It's our birthright. So, if you're considering the surgery, it definitely, I definitely give it a thumbs up. I'm grateful, extremely grateful. My surgeon was amazing and she cared. Don't just accept, oh, you're this age, you got to have a hysterectomy. Don't just accept that if you want to keep your womb. If you're over it and you don't want to, then go for it. I'm all about free will, but I'm not with people imposing what they feel you should do onto you, especially if it's in opposition to what you want to do for yourself. So I'm exercising a lot more frequently. I've released a lot of weight. Um, and I just feel good. Again, it was one of the best decisions I could have made for myself. But I understand I had to go through the journey that I was going through, because I dealt with fibroids for 10 years, and I had to go through everything that I went through so I can show up more authentically, I guess, for the people that I'm supporting and for the women that I'm helping. I've always kind of unfortunately been one of those touch the stove kind of people. Like, I need to go through it myself, right? In order to speak with firsthand experience. I'm not just making it up. I didn't just read it from a book. I'm not just following other people that had this experience. Like, no, I lived this experience. This is my experience. So, that's all. I don't like to talk too long on these things. I just really wanted to share my experience 6 months after. Life is great. It's better than it's been in many, many years. And, if you're considering it, go for it. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, I'm an open book. Feel free to send me a message. If you are interested in getting some support for yourself, I have a holistically healing fibroids program. I also offer coaching, if you wanted some more individualistic one-on-one support. So you can find me at aishanicole.com, ASHIANICOLE.com, or just send me a message. I'm real easy to reach. Peace until then, and good luck to you on your journey. Bye.